Jeff Sessions gave a speech on a college campus just this week about free speech. And, he made this big thing about, the censorship, the banning of people who have opinions that you don't like. It's all deeply against the First Amendment. So he went on Fox News, I believe it's Fox and Friends, to talk about this. And I think he may have broken some world record on the issue of hypocrisy.
I noticed you were busy yesterday on college campuses. What is the Department of Justice doing about what many people feel is a suffocating feeling on college campuses when it comes to free speech?
Well, we want to speak out, first of all, and call on presidents and trustees and legislatures and donors to make sure that their colleges aren't no place in the country should we have more robust discussion than on college campuses. And I truly believe, in talking to a lot of young college graduates, that we've drifted way too far in controlling speech. And I wanted to make that point, number one. Number two, we can intervene and will intervene in various lawsuits where we believe overly constricted in their right to speak out and express themselves. It is a civil right. The Department of Justice has a duty to defend people's civil rights.
Well, Mr. Attorney General, as you know, you watch TV. It's not all sides that are being suffocated. It's just one side. It is, you look at what has happened out in California when people have tried to go out and speak at Berkeley. I think it was Ben Shapiro just a week or two ago was supposed to go out there. Cost him $600,000 to protect the conservative guy simply for exercising his freedom of speech.
Right. You have what we see often is the heckler's veto. That means that a group of protesters raise a ruckus before a speaker comes, and often the speech is either canceled or put in a secondary low, not effective. There is a bias, I think, personally, pretty clearly against conservative speech. Ben Shapiro, a 33-year-old brilliant Jewish Harvard law graduate, they sent out a notice before he came to Berkeley and said, if it upsets you so badly, we will give you counseling to the students who might be faint or something if he spoke there. This is, kind of ridiculous. We need robust, open debate on college campuses, and that's the ideal that has made our universities great.
What about the football field? Because you have said that the NFL players, that they should stop kneeling for the national anthem. A lot of critics of yours this morning saying, well, isn't that a symbol of free speech?
Look, I believe that every American should, as a matter of propriety and love of country, should not place their political views in a situation where you don't stand for the pledge or the national anthem. Everybody should do that. The president is exactly right to say no matter what you think of Hillary Clinton or President Trump, you should stand when the national anthem is played. And so he's correct to speak out against that, and I believe the players should stand.
You almost don't even need my commentary here. I mean, do you? Free speech, free speech, free speech. I'm in favor of free speech. The college campuses, oh my God, with the censorship and the banning and if somebody says something or does something you don't like, you must hate the First Amendment if you want to, restrict them the ability to do that. What about the NFL where they're peacefully, non-violently taking a knee, which is free expression? Well, yeah, everybody should salute the flag, and President Trump's exactly right. President Trump is calling for these people to get fired, calling for them to lose their jobs, lose their livelihood over a nonviolent, silent protest. So the president, representative of the government, is saying, we want to fire you if you express yourself in a way we don't like. What an amazing hypocrite. You can't get clearer hypocrisy than that. Because the whole point of the first part of that was, if somebody says something or does something you disagree with, You can't just shut them down. And then he's like, oh, they did something I disagree with. Let's shut them down. They're not serious people, man. I need you to understand that. And, you know, because there's a lot made of, hey, the authoritarian left on college campuses, the triggered snowflakes who can't take the microaggressions, so they try to, you know, ban people and they need a safe space. Well, those also exist on the right. And the right, it's becoming more stunningly apparent than ever before. And by the way, for the record, I'm consistent on this. I am somebody who says, let Milo speak, let Ben Shapiro speak, let all these people on the right who I totally disagree with. Of course, they should be able to speak at a college campus. Just because I disagree with them doesn't mean they shouldn't be able to express themselves. But that cuts both ways. Jeff Sessions is Attorney General for a president who sued Bill Maher over a joke. Why aren't you lecturing his punk ass about freedom of speech? He threatened to sue The Onion over a satire article. Why aren't you talking to him about freedom of speech? He said we should have laws that are more like England's when it comes to hate speech. He said we should open up the libel laws to be able to sue the media when they write articles I don't like. So he's deeply, deeply against the First Amendment. He came out against flag burning. He said you should be locked in jail for flag burning. Antonin Scalia, even, a far right-wing prick, said that is clearly free speech. Clearly free speech, clearly free expression. It's a legitimate protest of the government. Of course you can burn a flag. So you're lecturing college kids on campus when the person in the fucking White House who you serve is the biggest threat to free speech in this country. And the final piece of hypocrisy, take a look at this headline. Good googly moogly. Jeff Sessions is going to try somebody who laughed at him. Tell me again, Jeff, about free speech. Tell me again about it. Guys, they use it as a trick. Now again, let me be crystal clear. I am consistent on this. I want the right-wingers to have their free speech on college campuses. I disagree with the authoritarian left when they try to ban people, deplatform people, censor people, etc. Okay? But you cannot deny the reality that oftentimes people on the right take the issue of free speech and use it almost as a Trojan horse to get away with spreading noxious ideas. I still think they should have the right to spread those noxious ideas. But just understand that because you're saying, I'm doing this for free speech, it doesn't mean that the content of what you're saying is accurate, is correct, or is just. Yes, even Nazis have free speech. There, I said it. All people, all punch Nazis. No, don't. The only time you should use violence is if somebody is about to use violence against you. So, defensive violence. If not, they get to say whatever the fuck they want. They do. They do. So, I'm 100% on the side of free speech. We also must acknowledge that it's now a trick. Neo-Nazis, KKK people can go out there and say, free speech? I'm only saying that blacks are inferior because of free speech. So if you try to disagree with me, well, you must be against free speech. No. I want you to have the right to say that, and I also have the right to say, you're fucking moronic and wrong. And again, with Jeff Sessions, you see, he only trots out free speech when he agrees with the speaker. When he disagrees with the speaker, when he disagrees with the expression, like taking a knee as a form of silent protest, all of a sudden, he doesn't care about free speech anymore now, does he? And even on college campuses, to be clear, it's not just the right-wingers who are censored. Ron Yakalik, left-winger, disinvited over a talk about Syria. Anna Kasparian of the Young Turks was going to give a speech at a college campus, was disinvited because somebody on the board, or a few people on the board, were pro-Trump, and they were triggered by comments she had made about Trump supporters. Pro-Palestinian activists, left-wingers, disinvited because they have politically incorrect opinions about BDS and about how, we should force Israel into a peace deal. So the censorship cuts both ways. Either be principled and be against it all, or be a douchebag and be for it all. But don't be one of these hacks like Jeff Sessions who says, free speech, I'm for freedom, but only when it's my people. So then you're really not for it. You're not, because as Noam Chomsky said, if you're not for free expression for the people you despise the most, you're not for it at all.